Welcome to the Growing Tall Poppies podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nat Green, and I'm so excited to have you join me as we discuss what it means to navigate your way through post-traumatic growth and not just survive, but to thrive after trauma. Through our podcast, we will explore ways for you to create a life filled with greater purpose, self-awareness, and a deep inner peace. Through integrating the many years of knowledge and professional experience, as well as the wisdom of those who have experienced trauma firsthand, we will combine psychology, accelerated approaches, coaching, and personal experience to assist you to learn, to grow, and to thrive. I hope to empower you to create deeper awareness and understanding and stronger connections with yourself and with others, whilst also paving the way for those who have experienced trauma and adversity to reduce their suffering and become the very best versions of themselves in order to thrive. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Hi, and welcome back to Growing Tall Poppies. I'm Dr. Nat Green, and I'm really excited and grateful today to bring you our next guest on the podcast. It's my pleasure to welcome a wonderful lady who's agreed to come and chat with us about both her personal and her professional experience and share her wisdom with us. So I'd love for you to meet this beautiful lady, Marta Sauret Greca, and I'd love for you to give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you do in the world, Marta.
Sure. So first and foremost, I get to mother my 7 children. My oldest is 18. My youngest is 1. And I had a marketing agency for over 13 years. And it actually started to look like it was failing in terms of the circumstantial human realm. We'll say it that way. And the model that I had built no longer was thriving, and I had to let a lot go. And in that process, my experience of other things that we'll talk about during this episode, I started to dig into that, and I started a financial rep business through which I help American families grow wealth. But in terms of the international standpoint, I now have rebuilt as a content creation business as opposed to the big marketing agency, high-end, high-ticket, high-end, and high commitment. Now people are wanting more of like, can I take a bite of that? And we do specialize mostly in Facebook and Instagram content, and we just have so much fun doing that for women who are changing the world, really, coaches and health professionals, and it's called whole truth communication. So we're just disrupting lies of the world with the divine truth.
Oh, I love that so much. So much gold in there. And firstly, let me say, what a range of ages of children from 18 to 1. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
It's really a lot of time blocking, to be honest with you. And in terms of spiritually, it's just trusting in God that everything will work out as it's meant to in its own divine timing, as exactly as it should. Everything is working for me, whether I see it or don't see it. I understand it or I don't understand it. But from a practical standpoint, it is a lot of time blocking. As I shared with you, Thursdays, for example, are my nonstop days from the morning to night. I have another day that it's a half day of working, and those are the only days that I will do meetings. And then all the other days, I choose to just get some work done during nap time or before the kids wake up. So I have the freedom to just be with them the rest of the days. And there are certain days that I go to networking meetings, and if they don't happen on those set days, then I just don't go to the networking meeting. And you trust that there is no such thing as missing out, and everything that's meant for you will be there for you. So I don't have that FOMO of like, I have to be at this networking meeting. It's the once of it all. And it's like, nope, it's not on a Thursday or a Saturday night. It's just my mind is so trained. It could be a year in advance. My friends tease me. They're like, it's in 2026. And I'm like, it's not on a Thursday. I don't know what to tell you. Because that's the only way that two entrepreneurs can truly run their businesses. We have a system. It works. Our brains hurt if you make us divert from it. So please don't make our brains hurt.
That is like phenomenal. And I just love that you are so organized. I'm sure you have to be anyway, but that you hold your boundaries. That no, that's a definite no. And as you know, the people that I interview have been through trauma or adversity, and that is one of the things that comes up as being so important after going through trauma or adversity is that learning to say no and hold a boundary. And that's something that most of us struggle with. So how on earth has it always been like that you've been able to say no and hold boundaries?
No, of course not. And I did forget to mention my Sunday. My Sunday, I actually turn off my phone. I am unreachable. I do have a father who has Alzheimer's, and I am his primary care contact. But I have four beautiful siblings. And so they know Marta's not reachable. They have a backup phone number. If it's truly an emergency, they'll call one of them. And obviously, I would want to know if something happened to him. So they would call my husband. We have a whole plan in place. So I don't feel like I have to watch my phone in case something happens to him. And typically, all my kidlets are at home with me, so I know they're safe. But no, it actually, I had this moment of, let's say 8 years ago, that I was just like, we all have the burnout where we're just working 24/7, but we don't love what the bank account looks like. And truly, the thing that started to make me have boundaries was that my mom was diagnosed with cancer at that time, and so I wanted to be there for her. So I just started to say no to things because I wanted to be at the doctor's appointments. I wanted to make her smoothies. I wanted to watch movies with her. And she did survive that diagnosis, but it did come back with a vengeance about 3 years ago. And so I did lose her. So I'm just so grateful that I set those boundaries. And wouldn't you know it, that's when the business grew exponentially, because when I set the boundaries, that's when it just flourished. It grew like a poppy.
Amazing. And just hearing you, thank you so much for sharing that. And we have a very similar story. My mum had cancer, survived that, and it came back, and we lost her. That was in 1994. So she was very young.
Yeah, so you get it. Yeah.
Quite a while ago. And now my dad and my stepmom both have Alzheimer's. So
so you get it.
Tough road. And definitely the boundaries are so important, and having that so clear, but also acknowledging, being really clear on your choices and being present with the people that matter is so important. I love that.
Yeah. And try not to make too many exceptions, because you make one little exception and trust me, there's going to be 10 more little exceptions you're tempted to say yes, but it's just like, nope, I'm not available. Because if you were having a client meeting and another client came up, or a family member came up and was like, I need this, you'd be like, no, I'm busy. So why is it that you want to put yourself on the back burner and not set those boundaries for yourself? No, I'm busy with myself doing absolutely nothing. Thank you very much.
Oh, beautiful. And that is so healthy, prioritizing ourselves, because a lot of us, when we go through trauma, it's hard to do that. Well, anyone without the trauma even, but we're very much then feeling that sense of guilt or shame or whatever, and managing our own story and our own lives. And it can be hard to prioritize our health. Yeah. I know you touched on what happened with your business, and you were able to pivot with a lot of stress, no doubt, through that. So I'm just wondering if you could talk a little bit more and give us an overview of what's happened for you.
Yeah, so that was I had the thriving business, making money in my sleep, getting to be a full-time mom to my, at the time, 5 kids. And it just I thought I'd made it, and I just spent like I thought I'd made it. And then
Yep.
as and overextended and overhired and overinvested. And so when the revenue started to trickle down, there's nothing to work with, and a lot of entrepreneurs talk about the feast or famine. Well, there's the famine because when there's the feast, you're not preparing for the famine. And I learned that the hard way. And I am still working on that. But it does ebb and flow, because then I recreated a new brand and started a financial rep business. And my husband has a land development company that I am involved in one project, and that went through as that was happening with the marketing agency, his land development endeavors were very tumultuous, very toxic, very stressful. And so that took a toll on our marriage. And in the process, I had 2 miscarriages, had 2 more babies, lost my mom. Actually, I had a baby the same 2 weeks that I lost my mom. And in the moments of trying to be there for her, because I brought a newborn baby into a hospital that is not for babies, they actually 2 security guards escorted me out, and I wasn't able to be there with her. She died a few hours later. I couldn't get back in time. It was just a very difficult time. It's like when something like that happens, you're like, I don't care about anything. Nothing matters. This is all stupid. So you kind of have to allow yourself to have those feelings and have those conversations with yourself and with God, and allow yourself to come out of it. And we talked about this on my show, Awful, Okay, Awesome, with Dr. Nat Green. You have to decide to be your own savior and heal and get out of it. As I don't know that I love the words get out of it, but work through it and persevere and, get back up.
Yeah. And I think working through it is key, isn't it? That if we avoid it, we never deal with it. And then it just goes and hides somewhere in our body and in our mind. And we never get to really process it to be free, as free as you can be of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look back as a result of going through all of that, with the benefits of hindsight, how do you think you've changed as far as who you are as a person?
I don't think I'm as afraid of failure. I just know it's all going to work out. And I'm not as afraid of people finding out what's going on behind the scenes. I'm very open about it. I'll be the first to tell you my failures, because it's so freeing. And it's so good to lead from an imperfect standpoint, instead of pretending like you've got it all figured out and you're making all this money and you've got to prove that you're making all this money. So you're making all these expensive decisions because of what? For other people? No. So that's what has changed for me, to actually more discernment as well, taking a pause before I say yes.
Goodness, I think we can all learn so much from you. Boundaries, taking pauses, discernment. I love it. Like the poster child for how we want to run our businesses.
Yeah, and now I joke, when somebody wants a contribution of some sort of, in terms of a speaker, I just say, I can teach them about money. I can teach them what not to do with money, which is you just face that imposter syndrome head on. I'm a financial rep, but this happened, and this is what this looks like, and this is what's on record. And it's like, yeah, that's why I can help people the most, because they can show me whatever they want, and I can almost guarantee it's not as bad as the dumpster fire I had to put out. And then not on top of it, it's a dumpster fire that you're trying to keep anybody from smelling, or anybody from seeing, or anybody from hearing. That's the hardest part while you're putting out the dumpster fire. So there's nothing anybody can show me that I would balk at, but I that's just in the US that I can help people with that. Mostly internationally, I help with the content creation.
Yes. So I assume there's a lot of licenses you've got to have, and yours are valid in the US.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's per state. I mean, just to get technical, it's per state, and I keep adding states as more people reach out.
That's amazing.
Before I even have the conversations. Yeah.
Well, a lot of my listeners are in the US, so feel free to
Good.
tell us
Yeah.
a
Feel
bit
free to
more
reach
about
out to me
that.
about financial rep. So, in terms of the financial rep, I just love to help women, especially entrepreneurs, find the hidden money in their lives. There's money hiding everywhere, and how to best grow it, protect it, and expand it and respect it, because it was given to us and it is a replenishable energy and you will always be provided for, but we do want to take care of what's bestowed upon us. And then from the content creation side, it's completely different, but we mostly specialize in creating content that catches your ideal client's attention, and it increases conversion rates because they're already educated and you've already handled all the objections in your content and prepared them for that sales process to go a lot more smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our clients get to experience all the time. People are like, your content is amazing. Who's doing it? And it's like, I'm not even doing it. Or whenever your posts, I can hear your voice. It's like, I'm not even writing it, because we really catfish people really well.
And really, though, that's a huge gift. And with all the changes online over it seems to be a constantly changing world. I imagine that there's a lot involved from your perspective to keep on top of that. So tell us a bit about that, how you do that.
Yeah, it's also just not feeling like the pressure of I have to know it all,
Mhm.
and understanding that there's plenty of experts out there that if I don't know it, I can get their questions on that. I'm sorry, I can get their answer on any questions that we might have, and just be honest about, this changed. I haven't seen this at all. This is a new thing and we will, address it. But we certainly don't feel I used to feel the pressure of, well, we're a marketing agency. We need to know the
Mm.
newest and greatest. Oh, Threads came out. Remember Clubhouse came out and
Clubhouse
everyone was like,
didn't last long, but yeah, I got on there,
no, it
but
didn't. But
it's
everyone is like,
gone.
I gotta get on Clubhouse. And I was like, no, please. So for a social media or for a content creator, I'm actually like not like an apps geek or a tech geek. I just really love Instagram and their newest
Okay.
features. And I love Facebook. And sometimes they come up with new stuff and it's exciting. And sometimes they come up with new stuff and we get to test it out. And I just always remind myself also, how many doctors are there out there who everybody trusts, and they're just figuring it out. They're just testing things and they're asking their team of doctors anytime. So there is no human being who knows it all. And it's okay if I don't. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Everything's figure outable. That's one of my favorite books by, I don't remember her name, Marie. It's
Haven't
escaping me,
seen
but
that
it's a
one.
good book. Everything is figure outable.
And it sounds like that is very much how you're living your life. Everything
Yeah,
will
correct.
unfold as it's meant to, and
Yeah,
not spending time stressing about everything is
yeah,
clear that that's one of your big strategies, which is amazing. So, when you
yeah.
look back at what you've been through and throughout your healing journey, what would you say some of the biggest roadblocks and obstacles have been for you?
Mm, just being afraid of people finding things out about, what's going on.
Hmm.
I don't know, that I know I'm for sure that came from some of the childhood trauma, but yeah, just really making decisions more based on what other people are going to think than what is truly best, rather than what are people going to think. Mhm.
So, there's lots of layers involved in that too, about that external locus of control versus the internal locus of control, worrying about what people think versus trusting our own
Yeah,
ability to make decisions.
yeah.
So, how did you switch that across so that you stopped worrying all the time and started setting your boundaries and being really clear on what you think?
Probably some hypnotherapy.
Hmm.
Probably that's what it was. I mean, that was not only life changing in that sense, but I had a lot of anger as well and other things, and just letting go of that anger, because what's that doing for me? Nothing. And I
Mm.
do remember when I had started the hypnotherapy, that same month, I hit the highest revenue month ever, which at the time
Wow.
was a $40,000 month. And it was just from, I think, energetically releasing, not physically and energetically releasing limiting beliefs, probably, and old stories.
Yeah. And really, we know that those negative emotions, which we all need to have and feel, but
Mm-hmm.
anger is such a destructive emotion. But it's
Yeah.
also really important that we allow ourselves to feel it. So
Yeah.
you carried the anger around for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. You got to feel it. There's nothing wrong with being angry, and there's nothing wrong with showing anger. But I do believe that hanging on to it and utilizing it as the reason of, well, you don't understand what happened to me. You don't understand what I've been through. That's not serving you. And I do think that it's cancer causing. I do think that when we hold on to anger, it causes cancer. So
Mhm.
it's no fun. Like, why? So you can win in your head because you're not winning anywhere else.
No, and usually the thing or the person that you're angry at is long forgotten and moved on. And we
Yeah.
carry that and we're never going to get what
Mm-hmm.
we want from the other person, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just letting go of those expectations of what could have been, should have been, or what needs to happen. Just letting those go. It's more
Mm.
about you moving on as you and your best self, no matter what happened. And I have heard that from other people is, but you don't understand. I have this limitation, this limitation, this limitation. This happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. And I am the first, I think, I'll give you all the grace in the world. Like, by all means, take care of yourself, rest, that those feelings exist. They're valuable, they're valid, but eventually it's not going to be pleasant for you or helpful to you or anybody around you for you to just sit in it and not get up. It's time to get up after a while.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, it's totally okay to have a what I would refer to sometimes as a pity party.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's how long we choose to sit in that
Mm-hmm.
that makes a difference. Of course, important to feel, acknowledge, process, but at some point we make a decision and a choice to either stay in there or move forward. And certainly, the guests that I have on here are people who have been through all sorts of things, trauma, adversity, a range of things. But every one of them has a turning point or something that they've made a decision that they wanted to do it differently. And now they pay that forward and look at the lessons and the learnings. So, what would you say are the lessons that you've learned as a result of what you've been through?
I have learned. I used to think that the fable of the ant and the grasshopper was
Hmm.
like, but God's abundance is everlasting. So you don't need to squirrel things away because you'll always be provided for. It's like, yes. And
Mm.
you also want to take good care of what you're provided for. And that our mistakes can be a stepping stone to the greatest realizations and the greatest inventions and the greatest transformations for yourself. And don't carry other people on your shoulders if you've got a broken back.
Oh,
You're
I
not going
love
to
that.
heal. You're not going to heal. You're not going to get any better. And you can't carry them very well either. If you're back, you're going to drop them. So don't do that. It's not helpful to anybody.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. The way you
Well,
just,
thanks.
sorry, the way you just framed that was very good, powerful. So true,
Thank you.
because if you're injured or not at your best, then you can't carry that load without significant consequences to yourself.
Yeah. And to them, you're not going to do a very good job for them.
Mm. No. So when you look at where you were and the heartache and heartbreak and the trauma that you'd gone through with your business and then you've alluded to some childhood trauma,
Mhm.
What do you think, looking back and with the people you know that you've worked with, are specific qualities or personal attributes that you see being important to go from trauma to post-traumatic growth?
The belief that it's possible, the belief
Mm.
that it's not, this isn't just the way that it is, that you can have a better life if you want it, if you're willing to put in the work for it sometimes, because the healing journey isn't pretty.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not easy. As much as somebody's going to give you the tools, it's gonna be an experience, and you've got to set the time aside for it. So you've got to be willing. And I experienced that in the financial rep realm as well, where somebody shares some goals and here's what's going on, and I say, yeah, well, let's meet. I can help you with that. Like, my first session is complimentary. We go through everything and I present a plan. And unless you move forward with me with the plan, you don't owe me anything. And they're like, I just, I don't quite have time, or
Mm.
and that's typically, that doesn't happen if it's a warm connection, a warm lead.
Yeah.
That doesn't, that's just if, like, I have an issue, a loving issue with someone who reaches out and says, I just want to pick your brain. Well, that
Oh,
sounds painful. And I love you, because I just love people. I love you and I want to connect with you. But if I know that I can help you, I'm absolutely going to pitch you my services,
yes.
because I know that I can help you. And I'm not going to just we're not going to just pick our brains. We're going to move forward with our brains.
So funny. I don't know how many times I've someone ring, oh, can I just pick your brain?
No,
Oh, can
it
I
sounds
just
awful.
chat
It
about
sounds
this?
really
Like,
painful. Yeah.
yeah, very painful. I mean, I'm going to use that next time. It's like,
And
oh,
people
no.
and people do say that often to me, and
Yeah.
I don't correct them. I love them. I know that they don't mean anything, that they're just, what they're saying is like, I just want to connect and grow. But it's funny to me that when it's like, well, you and I, we like each other's energy. It just makes sense that I would help you if I know I can help you. And oftentimes it's that limiting belief of, I don't have time. Well, that's so not true. It's about bandwidth. Maybe you don't have the bandwidth. Maybe it's not a priority for you. I get
Mm.
that. You've got other things that are a priority. I totally get that. But it's that limiting belief of, yeah, this is just the way it is, and I don't have time.
And really, when you hear someone say, I don't have time, when you've got two businesses,
Yeah.
7 children, a husband who's an entrepreneur as well, and you're juggling all that, I just think you must just laugh. You
I
don't
do.
have
I
time.
giggle a little
Well,
bit.
oh dear.
I mostly giggle when and this sounds terrible, but I'm not sexist, guys. Okay. But when it's like a man who doesn't have any children and he's like, I have no time. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I would do to just have a job? What I would do with all that time?
Oh,
But we create time, right? In reality, consciously, what they're saying is, they don't know that they're saying this, but it's not a priority. Whatever this
yes.
thing is that I say that I want, it's actually not a priority, because if it was, we would create time. In fact, you very much can create
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, definitely. And how, yeah, I mean, obviously you've created time, you've done that. So tell us a little bit about how you feel you can create time.
Well, from the practical standpoint, if you really have a goal, you just block it off for yourself. Say, for my licensure, for example, I had to pass 4 very difficult tests. I failed one once. I failed one twice. The other subsequent 2 ones, I think I learned my lesson on how to pass these exams, and I passed them the first time. But it would be very easy for me to say, I don't have time to get all this new licensure. Maybe it's not worth it. But you block it off to your calendar ahead of time, and then you just show up for it. And then you create time also by just having that level of discernment of, no, you're not available to just shoot the shit, for lack of a better
Yeah,
word,
yeah.
because it's just not going to get anybody anywhere. So let's actually have a common goal in mind to improve each other's lives. And then just understanding that everything that you're meant to get done, you will get done. You can have a to-do list, but don't stress about it, because everything that you're meant to get done, you'll get done. And then if you find that something's been on your to-do list forever and you dread it, maybe somebody else should do it. Maybe you shouldn't even do it. Maybe it doesn't even need to get done. And that was actually one of the big mistakes, which was a huge lesson. Because I had a team, I felt like when things that I didn't want to do needed done, I just gave them to my team to do.
Absolutely.
Well, that cost me money.
Yes.
A lot of times didn't even need done, period. Like that wasn't even worth the team's time. But because it was no longer on my schedule, it was like, oh, I don't want to do this, but here, my team can do it. Oh, I don't want to do this, but here, my team can do it. Well, that cost me money. And it just having discernment about that too. Like maybe this just doesn't need to be a yes anyways. What's the return of investment on that?
Yeah, so very much. And that's that financial head of yours kicking in that, well, what's the return on investment? Because
Yeah.
I imagine that's very much the lens you need to look through as a
Yeah.
business
As a
owner,
business owner. Yeah.
as a business owner who's had the history that you've had, then now you've learned those lessons and you are very different in the way you approach it because it's all been
Right.
part of your growth and your learning. Yeah.
Right.
So, if you could share one thing with our listeners that would help them as they navigate from trauma into post traumatic growth, what would it be?
One thing would be to say yes to yourself. And when you make a promise to yourself that you are gonna improve on something for yourself. Maybe you want to grow a business. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds. Maybe you just want to eat healthier. Maybe you want a certain house or a certain car. Have the confidence to show up for yourself and not let anybody derail you from that. Maybe you want to heal world hunger. If that is your goal, first and foremost, believe that it's true, because again, I'm very spiritual. If it's on your heart, it was divinely placed there, and therefore it is your mission. And don't let anybody derail you. Things will derail you. And actually, what I mean by that is sometimes beyond your control, things will derail you, but get back on the path. And sometimes understand, and this is the title of my book, if you're watching the video form of this episode, it's called Course Corrected. Just understand that maybe that derailment also is actually your intended path. It's not your pivot, it's your path. So spend a lot of time with just yourself to be able to discern through that. And if it's on your heart, just because you're getting derailed doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. But if you do get derailed, don't be so hard on yourself. Just get back on the path.
A lot of wisdom there. I love that one. Really, really important. And is there anything else you'd like to share that you think is
I would
really
just love
important?
to connect with all of you on Instagram. You could see my name probably in the show notes, at Marta Sauret Greca. That's kind of my funny content creation when it's where brands actually send me their products and services and I create content for them. And there's a lot of content on there about motherhood and entrepreneurs. And I think I'm a comedian, so there's just a lot of silly stuff on there. But you'll also be able to connect with my other Instagram through that. It'll be listed there of the content creation for businesses, for you, for us creating content for you, and also the financial rep business through which I help families find hidden money and grow it and protect.
Excellent. And I will put all of those links in our show notes for sure.
Thank you.
And so, really, Instagram's your main one. Is there anywhere
Yeah, I
else
mean,
that we
I'm
could
on
connect?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook too. I love Facebook, and that's how I diversify it. On Facebook, I talk about my financial rep business. On LinkedIn, I talk about the marketing efforts, and then I have a specific Instagram for me creating content for other brands as a micro influencer, for a lack of a better word.
Oh, Fantastic. So I'll definitely
Yeah.
put that in there. And I know our listeners, a lot of them are really letting me know lately that they're struggling on social media. So
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
really
here to help.
excited to see how you might be able to help and help a lot of our listeners as well. So
Yeah, we've helped women who have millions of followers and 5,000 likes, or women who want to get to that point. It's a journey, but my own reels go viral to millions on a regular basis. And also, if I could just offer one more piece of
absolutely.
encouragement, sometimes you post that thing and you're like, well, that didn't go anywhere. Go back and look at your stuff. I guarantee that just leaving it up over time, it actually got way more views than you stopped paying attention. So, and even you gave yourself credit for it, but really it's about the conversion
Yeah.
of what business is coming from it. And it's the same thing with investments, a little bit over a long time, just leaving it in there. It grows and grows.
Yeah. So it's that not expecting that immediate
Yeah. And sometimes
response.
it
And
can, but sometimes it does, and sometimes it can. But I'm
yeah.
just saying, don't don't discount yourself, because it's there. The growth is there sometimes already.
Yeah. So, Marta, I'm really also interested in where you see yourself a year from now and what your big picture plans are for you, your family, your business.
Yeah, definitely having millions of assets under management as a financial rep, and also through the content creation side of it, having I'm happy to help more clients attract more of their ideal audience members. I helped 100 brands alone the past year, and I I'll probably be more involved with my husband's land development endeavors. I truly enjoy that as well.
So
As
much.
little as I'm involved now,
Ah,
you know,
but
I still enjoy
make
that
sure,
little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
schedule that in somewhere in there in your calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one question that I like to finish up with my guests is, what do you think your younger self would think of what you've achieved and where you are now?
I don't know that she could have ever imagined it. I mean, the house that we live in, I don't know that she could have ever imagined the property that I get to live on, the 7 kids. I mean, my youngest self loves dogs as much as my older self loves dogs. So she would be loving on my little Aussie doodle.
Oh,
And just that, I get to speak on stages and have, the things that I'm doing. I think she like wouldn't even be able to comprehend, like, what is all this?
oh, that's amazing. So, yeah, you've come so far. And thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your wealth of knowledge and all your wisdom and your story. I really appreciate it. And I know our listeners will. And we will put all the links in the show notes. And as Marta said, she'd love to connect with you. She loves chatting and connecting and loves people. So feel free to
Just don't
reach
pick
out.
my brain.
No, no picking brains. And so if they DM you, that would be the easiest way.
Yeah,
But
they
no
can say, can
picking
I
brains.
pick your brain? And I would say,
For
I'd
sure.
love to meet with you. Yeah.
So, hi, Marta. I'd love to connect with you and meet with you
Yeah.
and not pick your brain. You'll know where they've
Yeah.
come from.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me in this episode of Growing Tall Poppies. It is my deepest hope that today's episode may have inspired and empowered you to step fully into your post-traumatic growth so that you can have absolute clarity around who you are, what matters the most to you, and to assist you to release your negative emotions and regulate your nervous system so you can fully thrive. New episodes are published every Tuesday, and I hope you'll continue to join us as we explore both the strategies and the personal qualities required to fully live a life of post-traumatic growth and to thrive. So if it feels aligned to you and really resonates, then I invite you to hit subscribe, and it would mean the world to us if you could share this episode with others who you feel may benefit too. You may also find me on Instagram at Growing Tall Poppies and Facebook, Dr. Natalie Green. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to look for the lessons and to learn and increase your ability to live the life you desire and deserve. So for now, stay connected, stay inspired, stand tall like the tall poppy you are, and keep shining your light brightly in the world. Bye for now.